You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Yes, you are. Welcome, OKC fans, to the Bring the Thunder podcast post-game show. OKC loses at home 101 to 103 to the Raptors. And I'm going to say before we even get into this, to all the fans who don't like it when we get angry at the team and get angry at players, I suggest you cover your ears for a little bit for this one, because riding off anger, yes, give us 24 hours. I'm sure we'll be a lot better. But I'm quite angry, so I'm gonna be not in a good mood for this one. I'm just getting that out of the way now. So I'm sure, at least I know Joe's probably gonna agree with me. Saber, you tend to try to be more optimistic, and I give you so much credit for that. But optimism's going in the trash for me tonight. So I don't know if you guys are good with it. I'm gonna start off here. The whole team let SGA down. Everybody. I mean, from the second this game started, it was clear it was just going to be double team SGA. And when the most important moment of the game comes, nobody can do anything. Everybody forgot how to play basketball. No one on this team remembered how to play basketball when they started double teaming Shai at the end. I mean, Shai did all he could. He really did. He was trying to get to the line. He was trying to get out of double teams. And he was, honestly, I would have much preferred him to start putting up horrendous shots than keep passing it to that point, because there's such thing as trusting your team too much, and he was trusting them too much tonight. 26 from 3 is abysmal. 26% is awful. We talked about how, like, the last several games we've been winning, we've been hitting threes. I jinxed us. I'm sorry, guys, because this was hard to look at. From 3-point, we got off the bench, Wiggins 2 for 9, Kenny 1 for 7, Isaiah Joe 2 for 7. It's not good. Like, this is just terrible. I'm incredibly angry because this is a stupid loss. This is a really dumb loss. Like, at home in this situation, being up the way we were with time left in the game, like, you don't lose this game. This is not a game that you let slip away at home. And meanwhile, on the defensive end, there's no effort. There's no, like, the final 5 minutes of this game, the Raptors got whatever they wanted. It was a cat playing with a toy. It was awful. And don't even get me started on the final missed free throw where no one goes for the rebound, because this team has to remind you that they suck at rebounding. Like, they just had to remind you that. Out-rebounded 51 to 37. What are we doing, bro? No one's rebounding. No one's hustling. No one's boxing out. We can't hit our shots. SGA can't do it all. And when we most need it, Lou Dort, praise the Lord for Lou Dort tonight. 19 points, 4 of 8 from 3, and we just throw it in the garbage and can't win at home because no one else can get anything done. I'm going to shut up for a little bit. Someone else take over. I'm going to break my phone here soon.
Yeah, just a terrible loss tonight. Before we get into, like, more of the game, losing Cason Wallace tonight is just another huge blow to this team. 16 minutes in, he goes down with an injury. Wiggins' first game back looked like hell. This team just can't catch a break. Mind you, Jay Will's holding at his back for 3/4 of the game tonight as well. So we'll see what they say about him at the end of the night here, because they always tend to pick up these injuries throughout the night. They're extremely unhealthy. But I don't really care about the health right now. In this game tonight, you should have won it. You were winning with 2 minutes left in the game. You fouled Shed, and he missed 2 free throws for you. You didn't pick up the rebound. You let Immanuel Quickley hit 2 wide-open threes with under 2 minutes to go. It's not the same caliber team as of right now as they were last year. They're stupid mistakes, not hustling as much. SGA's carrying and getting triple teamed, and nobody's helping out. Like, Chet Holmgren, 10 shots today. I mean, when it's Shai and Chet and then nobody else, Chet, you got to put up more than 10 shots, and they got to run offense through him a little bit more as well. We saw what happened in Cleveland when we ran offense through Chet, and he went off. I don't know why we go away from that. But I mean, just a terrible loss tonight. I will, for the good parts of the game, Lou, like you mentioned, 19 points, shot it really well. Kenrich Williams continues to play extremely well off the bench and be really solid for us. But dog days of the regular season are here, and they got to get healthy now, because if not, they're not going to win many games. Because, yeah, Toronto's like third in the East, but Toronto's not good. like at all to me. Like it's just so bad. And then one last thing for me to get out rebounded by 14 when their other opposing team center is what 5 rebounds, Mama Kelishvili or whatever. I mean, you let Immanuel Quickley get 11 boards. That's not on really Chet. That's the guards and the hustle from this team. And then yeah, I just also didn't like the way Mark ran through the last couple possessions. I didn't like obviously the plan on the inbounds pass probably wasn't for Chet to pull up in front of Scotty Barnes. But somehow you got to know to get that ball to SGA no matter what. If not, you swing it, get it to Wiggins or something, just a ball handler for SGA to come get the ball. And then even at the end, I mean, we're down 4 with 8 seconds left, and you got a timeout, but you let Shai go the whole court, burn 4.5 seconds. I mean, what are you doing? Scratching your ass and just watching the game? Like, figure your shit out, buddy, because you continue doing this shit. OKC doesn't win. Nothing's safe in the NBA these days, man.
And this is the kind of loss that someone just made a comment. This is the kind of loss that, like, obviously we know who SGA is. We know he's never going to be the guy to freak out and go request a trade. This, I promise you, this pissed him off. This is the kind of loss where he knows he's passing up shots that he could be forcing and taking, like a lot of stars do. And this is not a shot at this player, but like, look at the way Anthony Edwards plays basketball games with the Timberwolves. There are so many games where it's a situation like this, and he will just shoot whatever he can get. And you'll see him make some ridiculous shots. Shai could have done that. He could have said, I'm done. My teammates aren't hitting. I'm going to take over. He didn't. He kept passing. He kept swinging. We kept missing. It's repetitive. You're just watching the same garbage over and over. And even though, like I said, we've shot good from the 3 ball recently, the last few games, we're chucking up 43 threes this game like we're sharpshooters. We have never and never will be a team that lives and dies on the 3-point. We should never be a team that's just throwing up threes because we can. Like tonight, SGA, every time he would drive and kick, it was like, oh shit, I better shoot this right now. Like, that is not what we do. We drive and kick, we get people out of position, we swing the ball, we're just chucking up we're shot chucking, and at least Lou is hitting him, like I was saying. And why do we not start drawing up plays for Lou at the end? Why do we not try to get Lou open? Why do we not try to set off ball screens for Lou? Why are we just consistently going back to the same people, going back to like Kenny with 15 points off the bench? That's low-key, that's a hollow stat right there. Like, he had 15, and I'm glad he did. 1 for 7 from 3 is abysmal. That is awful. That is inexcusable. 2 for 9 from 3. Wiggins is shooting 9 threes, 9 of them, and only hitting 2. That is awful. That is horrible. That's the kind of shit that does not win you championships. If we play like this in any playoff series in the West, any of them, we will lose in 5 games. This cannot happen. I don't care how healthy or unhealthy we are. Like Joe said, this is not a game you lose. We already shouldn't have lost the one to the Pacers. That already shouldn't have gone the way it did. This one really shouldn't have gone the way it did, because like Joe mentions, we have the lead at the end of the game. We're doing everything we need to be doing in that moment, but you could just tell with 5 minutes left in the game, you could tell it was going to start happening because Shai kept swinging it and we kept missing. And it was that feeling in your gut that's like, this is just going to keep happening. And if it does, we're screwed. Like, if this keeps happening, we're going to lose this game. Another minute goes by. Shai's kicked 2 more times, 2 missed threes. Another minute goes by. We turn the ball over. Another minute goes by. We give up an open 3 to Immanuel Quickley. Another minute goes by. All of a sudden, we're losing at the end of the game. Shai is getting triple teamed, kicking to the wide open people in the corner, and they're hitting nothing but wind, dude. Like, this was a stupid loss. This was a dumb loss. I see a comment saying, just remember 37-10, best in the league. Do you think the 73-9 Warriors would lose a game to be like, it's whatever? No, you want to win games. I don't care how healthy or unhealthy you are. You want to win games. And right now, I don't know if we are the best team in the league. I need to see us healthy again. I need to see us click again. I have not seen that. And we keep getting hurt. We keep losing players. We lose Kaysen tonight. I didn't even know we were going to have half the guys we did. And I was stoked when I saw we had them. And we still lost the game. What are we supposed to do about that? Like, this is infuriating. No, they didn't have 5 players out, Unk, but you know who they did have out? One of their centers. And they out-rebounded us horrifically. They didn't have Jakob, one of their bigs, who gets rebounds. Like, I understand what you're saying, but dude, like, there are so many problems with this loss. Please do not just act like this loss was just like, we're good. We'll just roll over and suck it up next time. It's a problem. The health is a problem. The inconsistency is a problem. Like, you guys will see in a video coming out for members only here soon, but Savvy or Joe, give me Jordan Poole. I don't even care anymore. Give me Jordan Poole. Give me somebody. That's how angry I am. You guys know I hate Jordan Poole. I don't care anymore. Give me somebody, because I don't want to watch the same 3 people shoot in the corner. And I know, I'm kind of making a joke here because Poole would just be the 4th player for me to be angry at in that scenario. But like, seriously, I can't sit here for 5 minutes at the end of the game watching the same shit where Shai drives, Shai gets double teamed, Shai kicks, we brick it. I cannot sit down and watch that for 5 straight minutes and have Mark sit there watching it, not doing anything to change. That is abysmal. And I know you'll agree with this, Savir, and Joe is saying it too. Why are we not using Chet Holmgren? Why are we not running an offensive game plan through him against a team that is smaller? Why are we not doing that? Chet Holmgren should be getting the ball. He clearly wanted to. He was being aggressive with the few touches he got tonight. So why are we not posting Chet up? Why are we not running pick and rolls with Chet? Why are we not running pick and fades with Chet? No, we're just going to keep letting Shai drive into the paint, get double teamed, kick it out, throw up another 3. I'm going to throw up if I keep watching that. This was 2K basketball.
Gabe, I want to chime in here. I'm going to put most of the blame on the loss for this one actually on SGA, because the major problem I had in this one was we had a good solid lead throughout 3 quarters. He had 21 with 12 minutes to go into a 4th quarter. I'm over here thinking he's going to end up with 40-plus points. This man passed up so many looks to other players. And for me personally, like, in a game like this, it's situational awareness. When you're the best player on the best team, you should act like it, right? Like, the shot shouldn't go to anyone else. Same thing with Chet Holmgren. Like, he should be, every look that he gets with the ball in his hands, he should be calling for pick and rolls, shooting. Like, at that point, like, I need you guys to shoot the ball. So most of the blame on my end, at least, is on SGA. Don't pass up the open looks. Keep it in your hands. And I know how much trust he has in those guys, and we don't want to deviate from the culture and the things that we've built, but we've got to win the games with an unhealthy squad. And I see comments in there. They're wide open. I really don't care. I'm taking SGA to shoot 30 shots in a game and put up 50 to 60 points in a win against the bum Toronto Raptors. I mean, it's just that simple. Like, game plan wise, if I have the MVP, I'm going with the MVP. I'm not relying on 33% shooters or even less than that. Like, it's not happening. This team is mid in terms of just as a shooting team. And the things that I mentioned, well, in the pregame at least, as far as like keys to the game to focus on, I want to look at the stats here. They beat us on the fast break points, which I talked about. They're one of the best fast break point teams. They're also one of the best teams in points in the paint, and they dominated on both factors, in which I didn't think that would be the case. We're starting Jay Will. We have Chet Holmgren still healthy, and I thought it would be a more equal battle, or a battle we'd honestly win with a guy like Chet Holmgren. And so a lot of the blame goes on those two guys. Like, they ended the night with, let's see here, Chet Holmgren, 11 points, SGA, I get it. And he only really made 8 field goals. That's just not good enough for me for like an MVP standard. And from winning a basketball, like just winning a basketball game, we can blame Coach Mark as well, but it's kind of hand in hand. Like, they want to stick with, passing the ball and swinging and everything else like that. But when you have a bunch of players injured, you got to go for the wins. And in this game specifically, we played a lot of guys, a lot of minutes, and the minute distribution was kind of awkward in this one. I'd rather prefer to just go with like a 8-man roster and, just tough it out for the win. And it didn't feel like, from a coaching perspective, we were really going for the win. I think the bench got a little bit too much burn in this one for my liking, at least. I mean, SGA 35 minutes. I think Chet could have played a couple extra minutes there. I probably would have kept Jay Will out there a little bit longer. Oos should have been getting more minutes in this one. I don't know. It's a tough loss. I do have some fun stats here, I guess. SGA is up to 20-plus points, and he's 10 away from the Wilt record. But we have a good cushion in the Western Conference right now, for now. But until we start getting healthier, the more injuries we get, it's the domino effect or the snowball effect of you get more and more injuries. And I mentioned this. As soon as guys started going down, I was like, all right, this is kind of getting bad. Like, I see SGA, Chet starting to carry the load a little too much, and then they get injured. And that's kind of where I'm heading as far as the second half of the season. It's kind of not looking the best because we're really top-heavy as a unit, and we rely on our big three a lot to carry us through wins. And when those guys aren't there, it doesn't lead to a good formula. So we need the guys to step up. At least the two guys that are on the court, both of them are all-stars this year. And this is just a totally winnable game. And I'm kind of disappointed in the squad, disappointed in SGA. I'm going to keep calling him out on the video because 24 points isn't going to get it done, my guy. Like, I don't need the assist. I don't need you pass. He only got 6 assists anyways. He should look at that and look at the film. He probably passed up like 40 shots. And you can't do that in a game like this. So,
yeah. I agree with what both of you are saying. Sabir, to your point, I mean, I saw him forcing the ball to Lou Dort early and often, which honestly I was very happy about because we were winning and Lou was knocking down his shots, but he continued to feed guys like that. Even the guys who were struggling probably had a lot of assists that, potential assists that ended up in the 3-point misses. But yeah, I think for me, I'm always like in the mindset as well where, okay, you're the MVP, you're the best player on the court. If it's a roster like this and things are going like they were tonight, I don't care really what kind of shots you're taking. It's time for you to take over, and you're getting the shots that you want. I always believed in that, and it's kind of like a Kobe Bryant mentality almost, right? And they compare Shai to Kobe a lot. So I'm not going to blame Shai, but I wanted a little more out of him tonight, even though he shot the ball extremely well. For Gabe's point, I mean, everyone just sucked. And I mean, listen, like, the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, we know what OKC is when they're fully healthy, but they just can't get healthy. They continuously cannot get healthy. We waited for J-Dub to come back just for two guys to go out. And when those 2 guys get back, another 2 go out, and then J-Dub goes out. So it's been really frustrating. And I think this live is kind of just the frustration of that, boiling over. We don't want to lose to the Pacers. We don't want to lose to the Raptors. We still know that we're probably the best team in the NBA. It's just we haven't seen that team in so long, right? So it's like frustrating and hard to talk about looking forward. But, I mean, with that being said, we do get the Pelicans, okay? I'm assuming that's going to be one of our last games, like, injured like the way we are right now. So if we get through Tuesday and the Pelicans, we got to get guys back. And I don't know how long it is for Hartenstein to come back, but I'm just looking here. We're in Minnesota, in Denver, home against the Magic, in San Antonio, home against the Rockets, in Los Angeles against the Lakers, in Phoenix. We got to get healthy for that stretch because not that it necessarily matters a lot if we're not healthy, but if we aren't, we're not going to win a damn game in that whole stretch. So, I mean, we need a few guys to get back just for the podcast's sake and just for, our mentals to get back and be like, oh, okay, we are pretty dang good when we are healthy. But right now, I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal for sure.
I think, yeah, exactly. And I wanted to bounce back to a point that both of you were making, talking about SGA, because on the first hand, yes, absolutely what you said, Joe, is true. In the beginning, you could so clearly see he was forcing those shots to get him over to anyone else, getting him out to Wiggins. And he does that at the end, too. I mean, at the end, he's doing that a lot. But the reason I'm not blaming Shai is because if you go back and look at the highlights, 90% of the time he was getting a double team. They were constantly double teamed.
I don't care if he's getting quadruple teamed.
That's a bad shot.
I don't give a fuck, bro.
I do.
Go down the court and score. Kobe Bryant, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, you name it, they do it. Dwayne Wade, I can keep going. Everyone that's won a chance. Michael Jordan never fucking looked to pass in games where he didn't have players around him. Like,
in Sapir's defense,
to me, bro.
In Sapir's defense, Kobe, when he scored 81 points, was shooting over 3 guys every possession.
Even in the last game of Kobe Bryant's career, he got 60 points off of like 55 shots. That's what you have to do.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I don't want 55 shots.
I want 55 shots. I want all the
want
shots going to the best players on the team, bro. Like
when the shots are not falling from the other players.
It's the NBA.
Absolutely.
If we're in the NFL or playing golf or something, or like some other team sport where it doesn't matter, in the NBA, superstars run the league. Usage has to go to the superstars, and they have to, they have to think about it that way. And SGA has to know if he puts up more shots, he's going to make more of them because he's that good. Like it's so simple. This is one of the only sports where one guy can actually dominate a whole game, and SGA is that guy.
It's also one of the sports where when the teamwork is clicking, no one is ever going to beat you. And I know it wasn't clicking tonight, and that's why it's like, okay, yeah, maybe he probably needs to stop forcing those passes. But and the way I look at it is, if you took the number of times he kicked it out tonight instead of putting up a shot and just cut that in half, if 50% of those times he shoots instead of passes, I think that's a good split. I think that's a solid split. If he forces more shots, I want him to. But saying that he needs to be putting up every single shot, I just cannot get by with not getting the open three because it's there. I mean, like, yeah, I understand guys take over, but like I was talking about Anthony Edwards, like he's a great player. I understand that. But like there have been games where the Timberwolves have lost because Anthony Edwards will not pass and will just put up a ton of shots. And just because SGA is better than Ant, so I know that he would have a better chance of hitting those shots. But I have nothing against SGA deciding I'm going to get the open shot because that's what's going to fall in most games. Because like we talk about, just because they're not falling one game doesn't mean you need to change the entire game plan. They will fall. We're trusting that those shots will fall. Those are good looks. The problem is they can't hit shit. Everyone on our team is breaking, bro. I want to clarify the position of where I started out the rant of he had 21 points going into the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is crunch time. That's his time. That's the time he needs to be putting up every single shot. I've seen games where SGA has most of the shots in the fourth quarter. Those are the games we win. This is the game where he only put up, I think, 2 or 3 extra points after he was pretty much useless for us, and that's the reason we lost. It's not because he kept kicking it out to other people. Yeah. You're going to lose games when SGA doesn't have the ball in his hands and is taking those shots. What are we talking about? I don't care if those guys are open. We've not been a jump shooting team that has been consistent this season. Even in all our wins this season, we have not done that. We've not shot well. We've had maybe 2 or 3 games where we shot 40% or whatever. And fluke games, cool, we're doing that. But even in the fourth quarter, he has to take the shots. I don't care. Devin Booker, dude, there's so many guys that go into the fourth quarter.
The rest of the league.
There's so many people.
You're absolutely right. Like in the
Kevin Durant took up 3 quarters of just him shot chucking in the Rockets game. Like, it's mind-boggling he doesn't take more shots. And I've been pointing this out for like 3 years now. He doesn't take enough shots. Same thing with Ajay Mitchell.
Yeah, I do want to get to a few of these comments here, and we only have a few of our members here tonight, so there were a few just normal comments here. The first one being this. I'll answer this one, fellas. He said, lost because of rebounds again. Are we going to keep pretending that Chet is a center? No, the Thunder haven't pretended that Chet is a center for 2 years now. They signed Isaiah Hartenstein to come in and play center. They just don't have one outside because everyone's injured, and Hartenstein's been out. So they definitely lost because of the rebounds, but I don't think anyone's pretending that Chet is a center at the moment. And there was one more here. Man, did we just trade for better role players?
11 field goals through 3 quarters, and then went into the fourth. And
okay, I'm definitely bringing this back up because Oblonsky made the comment I was going to say. Scotty is a decoy candidate. He's getting double teamed. You cannot expect SGA to be chucking up shots when he's getting guarded by 2-3 people. Like, I want him shooting more shots when that's not there. Their entire game plan tonight was double Shai. Go back and watch every single offensive possession. They would come and double Shai. Like, I don't want him chucking up a 3 with 2 guys hanging off in every single possession. That's not going to win.
Can I hop into this comment too, Gabe? Because I'm actually glad you brought this one up, but we'll get back to the other one. He said Scotty is a decoy candidate and he's getting doubled. SGA is not God. I mean, Scotty got 8 of 11 dropped on his head tonight. He held SGA to 8 of 11. There's no flex there. SGA cooked Scotty all night. We got whatever he wanted. To Satvir's point, he just wasn't aggressive enough in the fourth quarter. It just wasn't. That's all it was.
You say he got whatever he wanted. I think it's the opposite. I don't think he did get what he wanted. What he wanted was to be able to get his shots off, but he's getting double, tripled every time he goes into the paint. Like if he wanted to get his shots off, yes, he would have put up more shots. But their entire game plan, the entire game was the second Shai touches the ball, whatever person is closest to him outside of the primary defender, go double and go trap him and then force him to pass. A player that has to force his way out of those positions, yeah, Shai is a guy who can do that. We know he can. That takes twice the amount of energy. It's constantly like, that is not just a simple thing. You can just flick a switch and be like, all right, well, I'm getting out of every single double for the rest of the game and hitting every single shot. Like, SGA is elite. I do not expect him to be able to do that. Instead, when he's getting double teamed immediately when he touches the ball and there's two guys standing wide open, I'm going to give it to him. And I'm not saying they have to chuck up a three, because one thing we're really good at is being able to kick and then pass it to the open guy. Then he drives and then we move from there. Our guys were just missing threes tonight, but I'm not going to say that SGA, every single time he gets double teamed, every single time there's any sort of help coming, hey, yeah, I'm not going to say he has to dribble through that. He's got to push through that. He's got to put up every single shot. Is 11 shots too little? Yes, absolutely. It's too little. I don't want him shooting 35 shots and forcing every single double team because he has to hit the shots and no one else is falling and now he's being a ball hog. Someone said earlier, I'd rather lose a game because Shai misses shots than lose a game because we miss open shots. I disagree. I disagree with that. I want to take the open shots. Give me the open shots. That is statistical. I want the guy who's wide open. Give it to him. And if SGA is feeling it, then he's going to take it, and I trust his judgment. But tonight, his judgment was, I'm going to kick it to the open guy, and I trusted his judgment. I still do trust the judgment. It just sucks when our players cannot hit any shots, cannot hit anything, or don't even, I'm not even just not hitting shots. The shot IQ was poor. At some point, when you've shot and missed so many threes, you don't just take the three just because it's there. Just because you're open, you can take it and then cut and go from there. Like, that's my thing about this is I trust SGA more than any player I've probably ever watched in basketball with the ball. So if his choice is I'm getting doubled, I don't see a clear way to get through this, I'm going to kick it out. I trust him. I absolutely trust him. Like I'm just going to end up trusting him.
I think there's nuances to the take. It's the stretch that we're in on my end is in a regular environment where we have a fully healthy squad of J-Dub, Chet, and the guys. I'm cool with that. Like, Shai keeps playing his way because he knows he's going to swing, and it's going to be the 8 best players on the court. Mark doesn't play the 8 best players half the time around SGA. He plays bums around him. And I'm sick and tired of SGA passing to the bummy players on the roster. That's just what it is. I don't care if they come onto the podcast. They are not hitting shots. And throughout this stretch, like, we're not going to win games over the stretch that Joey's saying if we don't start doing what he needs to do. And I don't know. I've personally grown up with stars kind of just being stars. And SGA is kind of the anomaly, and he's been this way for a long time where he just doesn't put up as many shots as I would like for him to take and for us to win games. And I think we'd win a lot more games with him, I don't know, playing that style, especially when we're a little, inconsistent. Our second best player in the whole time is freaking Ajay Mitchell, right? Like, if that's who we're relying on to win playoff games moving forward, or even regular season games, I just don't think we're going to get very far, in my personal opinion. Like, either we need to put different talent around SGA or more offensive talent that can hit shots. And I just don't think the roster is built around it's just not built around guys hitting shots. The main way we're winning is just off of defense and pure grit and grind half the time, and going on third or fourth quarter stretches of SGA hitting a bunch of shots in a row and us getting really big leads and keeping those leads. Yeah, it's not around the offense. There's nothing built around this offense. And a lot of that has to do with Mark Dagnall not drawing up actual plays. I have not seen for about a year and a half, like, actual plays drawn up, unless it's an out of bounds play. And that's the only time he chooses to do everything else is just kick out for a 5-out, rotation. And that's not really offense. That's just playing basketball in general. I think we can be a lot more organized. There should be a lot more plays where SGA is high up on the half court line. Chet's coming up for those high pick and rolls. And from that, you can create a lot of shots. We just don't see that enough, in my personal opinion. That should be a high usage thing in a situation like this where there's only 2 all-stars playing and everyone else is, not as good or up to par.
Yeah. To get to this comment really quick, John Carter -B7L. Our members only videos, the last 2 of them have been breaking down one player we would take from each team in the NBA realistically at the trade deadline. So if you want to go check out our premium memberships on our YouTube channel, go check those out. We put out 1 to 2 members only episodes a week for you guys. You could come join us on the panel, interact with us on social media, all the good stuff. It's all written in the bio on the membership, so go check them out on the channel. But I'm going to agree with Sabir. It's just there's not a lot around, around SGA. When AJ and J-Dub come back and Hartenstein, I mean, obviously it's going to look a lot different. But as of right now, there's the role players, they're just not playing their role at all. Their role right now is to just hit those shots, and they haven't all year. The only guy I could really give credit to is Aaron Wiggins, because he steps up into his role wherever he plays. Tonight, I'll give him grace. He's come off injury. He hasn't played in a couple games. But he started. He's come off the bench. He's gotten 15 minutes. He's gotten 30. Wherever he plays, he's always amazing. For the rest of the guys, I mean, I guess Kenrich too. But for the rest of the guys, nobody really steps up. And I'm not putting Ajay Mitchell in that conversation because I don't think he's a role player. I think he's one of the best players on this team. So, yeah, I think they're probably going to have to go out and get a few guys. I'm not going to touch on guys because we put those in the premium memberships, but I think they definitely have to go out and get an offensive talent of some sort. Okay. With that being said,
it's a good time for a segment.
Yeah, I was just going to lead you in here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for everybody's favorite segment of the night.
Welcome to Satvir's Quarter.
All right. This one's pretty easy. Just the stat of the night. And OKC last 3 losses have been 2 points, 3 points, and 2 points. 6 of the 10 losses have been 2 or 3 points on the season. So we've only had 4 games where teams have really, put a number on us. The rest of them have been really close losses, and a lot of them have been on us, whether it's we're missing a center, whether we're missing J-Dub, or we're losing games like this. I still think that's impressive for a season where we've won 37 games. And honestly, I'm over here crashing out about the offense. We have no offense, and we've won so many games. If we were even to get decent offensive pieces, like just decent offensive pieces around SGA, I feel like we would win a lot more games because we have enough defense. Like just Chet himself anchoring the defense, Case and Dort, and you put like one offensive piece alongside SGA, and I'd honestly do a 2-for-1 deal where we get 2 offensive creators off the bench, and I think we'd literally win an NBA championship just based off that fact. If they're just ball handlers that can create for themselves, create for SGA, and shoot the 3, I'm cool with that. Even if they don't play a lick of defense at this point, they could be lazy defenders at this point. I just need people that can put the ball into the basket because we don't have guys that can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of us absolutely agree. We talked about, it's funny enough, we won a championship last year, but we talked about that during last year's trade deadline as well. I thought specifically that we needed a guy who could come off the bench, like you just said, consistently put the ball in the basket. And one of the guys I shouted out last year was Cam Thomas. Get him for a year, trade him away, do what you got to do. Or he was going to be a free agent, so it would have been perfect. But for that, this year, it's a bit different because for me, I think Ajay Mitchell's kind of filled that role, and I think he's been fantastic while he's been playing. Now, I still do think that we have too many 3-and-D guys who just aren't 3-and-D guys. They're just defensive players. And I'll just name them, and I'm not saying I want to trade any of them, but the guys that we have, obviously Lou Dort, Casey Wallace, Alex Caruso, all those guys are excellent at defense, but none of them really shoot the ball well. And when they do, we end up winning the game outside of tonight because we were so shorthanded. But again, not saying that I want to, but I do believe that you could give up one of those guys for an offensive piece. And I know every single person, in Oklahoma City, every Oklahoma City Thunder fan would hate to see any of them go. But
Absolutely.
Would it be the worst thing in the world to go get one extra offensive player off the bench for one of those guys? And I don't really mean Lou in there either. I'm just talking about Caruso in case at this point.
Yo, I've got a good question for you guys. What do you guys think about the last 2 play calls being for Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Joe, and not SGA in close games? I've been thinking about it, and it's like I feel like we haven't discussed that yet. And what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I brought up the inbounds play. I'm not necessarily sure if it was, drawn up for Chet to get that ball and do a mid-range pull-up. I have a hard time believing it was. And if it was, it's probably going to blow my mind. I don't think that report will ever find out. I do hate Chet for not just like slowing down and finding SGA when he caught the ball. That's why I said earlier, like if we got the ball into Wiggins at like the top, he could dribble over to Shai and Shai could come get the ball from him and we could do something from there. The other play I brought up too is, we didn't even have any time at the end because Mark didn't call his timeout. We were down by 4 with 8 seconds left. He inbounds the ball. We have to go full court, and then they foul when we pass half court. That was the worst. Like, that was mind-boggling, Gabe. What do you think about that?
I'm praying it's what you said about the inbound one. There's no way that the intention of that play was to get Chet matched up with someone who is a more than capable defender and have him take a deep mid-range shot. If that's what was drawn up, we need to sit down and talk with Mark because that is abysmal. But it makes no sense to, especially what you're talking about, just having a timeout in your pocket and not using it. It gives me PTSD to last season. There were multiple times last season where timeouts management was horrific. There were horrible mishaps.
Was horrific.
Correct. It's annoying. It doesn't make sense. If there's anything that we can all agree on right now, it's that Mark's got problems. It's clear. The not running plays, the when he does run a play, you're like, what the hell was that? Only running it off inbound plays, which that's been a thing for like the last 4 years. I mean, he started getting really excited when they got an inbound play when we had Giddey. He was like the most excited to be the entire game so he could draw up an inbound play. But that's always been a problem. And then just openly, like, I know we were just having that big argument about SGA, but for the final shot of the game to not be putting it in his hand for the last shot, for the most clutch moment, that's one of the times where, like I said, 50% of the time I do want him forcing a shot. That is the shot. That's the one that he should be taking, is when we need it the most. Or if you're going to at least use him as a decoy, do not draw up a deep Chet mid-range contested shot. That's awful. Hopefully that's not what was drawn up. I'm going to pray it wasn't that shot. If they were going to drop something for Chet, I have faith they would draw it up better, because we know Chet can really consistently score if he's given a good play, if he gets a good setup. And that was just not a good setup. It felt like we scrambled a lot on that inbound until eventually Chet got open. And I think he thought he had more space than he did. I don't think he thought Scotty could cover that. Scotty covered that. And ultimately it was just a frustrating moment, but it just goes back to, why is it going to him there? Why are we not doing literally everything in our power to get SGA open so he can get the ball? Like, it's bad coaching.
There's plays that can be drawn up to get a guy like SGA open, and I've seen Curry get the ball every single time, no matter what. I've seen pretty much most of the superstars from an inbound play get the ball when you need to get the ball. There's plenty of plays that you can drop to get the ball to the right guy, and I feel like that should have been done. But I do have a very interesting stat here. OKC has lost consecutive games at home for the first time since November 3rd in 2023. I know we crash out a lot from this team and its losses, because the losses are always crazy. But, I mean, I guess from the positive end, we don't lose many games. We win a lot of games. This is a very good team, but it's just so frustrating when they lose because of the way in which they lose.
Yeah, and again, I'm kind of like just putting it in my head right now that they just got to get healthy. Like, it's so frustrating to watch. Like, I'll admit on live stream, like, chair was thrown at the end of the game just because of the decision making by Mark at the end of the game, especially the non-timeout. I was watching it and I almost just turned it off right there. But I don't know. I'm just gonna keep saying, like, Well, it probably end up being the 1 seed, if not the 2. They'll get healthy. They're going to get into the playoffs and get a roll. But bring up that health again. They got to get healthy early enough so they can get their chemistry back. Because you can't just get healthy and just it's playoff time because you're not winning. You can maybe get a series, but you're not gonna fully be back. You need to get these guys back soon. And if it's not the case, hell yeah, like we talked about it a few times, we got to go get an offensive player because you can't just coast like this and keep taking losses to,
I think we just need healthy bodies
teams
on the team in general. I know we're pushing the cap, but this is the 1 year where, from a cap standpoint, the contracts haven't hit for Chet and J-Dub for this year yet. So if you want to spend money for a 1 year rental type of situation to get not just one player, you can get multiple players onto the roster. This is probably the 1 year you could do that and go for a championship. I'd be shocked if we don't make any moves. I'd honestly this is probably the most disappointed I'll be in most of the years because I usually don't expect much from Sam Presti to do in terms of the roster. But this is probably the 1 year where it feels like we're bleeding out and he's, not coming to the rescue. And I'd be shocked if that is the case because it seems just so obvious that we just need an injection of rebounding, size, scoring. And I'd be shocked if he doesn't do that for us. I do want to mention 5 of the OKC's top 8 players out for the moment: J-Dub, Hartenstein, Caruso, AJ, Kaysen. I think if this continues in this way, we have 7 matchups, like you were saying, Joe, against playoff teams coming up after
really
the
good
Pelicans.
playoff teams.
Yeah, really good playoff teams. So I actually don't mind that being the case, but that we go through a pretty rough stretch here. I guess my last point kind of before we end off here is I hope what happens moving forward right now is we just don't bring back a lot of those guys for that 7-game stretch. So that way, when they do come back, they can all come back kind of at the same time and all be healthy, because I think the main issue is they keep coming back and putting a lot of, wear and tear on the body because they're having to play multiple roles because 1 or 2 pieces of the puzzle is kind of missing. And I feel like that's, creating injuries in itself because guys are playing out of roles, out of positions. And I hope a lot of these guys can kind of come all back at once. So that way the, rosters are a little bit more cohesive and glued together.
For all the people saying we should go trade for MPJ, if we trade for MPJ, I will jump off of a building. I would almost rather have anyone.
MPJ's on a huge contract.
There are so many problems. Jack says Obi Toppin is better for us. I agree.
Well, let's if you guys want our full breakdown, go get a membership. Go check out the members on the video. It's really cool. I've been enjoying doing them. We get into some heated arguments too on there, which is fun, always fun. But Gabe, I guess you could wrap it up unless we got anything else for tonight.
I got nothing, man. This was just frustrating.
All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Bring the Thunder podcast tonight. If you're enjoying the lives, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's free to do, but the premium membership isn't. Go get one of those as well. And tell a friend about the Bring the Thunder podcast. I mean, you guys were here for 45 minutes, so the best you could do is just subscribe anyway.
Joe, I got one thing, Joe.
What's up, man?
Mark, I'm gonna make everybody know this. I'm not angry at Sadveer. I'm not like mad at him. I'm mad.
We're literally, yeah.
Like
I don't think either of us are upset. I think we both have our own takes, and
if
we respect our takes, and we do this all the time. This is just NBA debate. We're just on here as friends doing a podcast. So
they're lying.
They're lying.
All right, Joe.
I don't think we've ever gotten upset with each other. So
no.
Oh, I almost jumped through my phone today at Jack. He couldn't understand what I was trying to tell him, and it was just so frustrating.
I was gonna tell you that, Joe. I know we're on the live and we can discuss it after, but I think it was just yeah.
But all right, Austin, good to see you, man. I've been waiting for you the whole dang episode to congratulate you on your Seattle Seahawks going to Super Bowl, man. I'll be rooting for you through the Patriots.
Me too, bro.
I literally have been waiting for Austin to join this whole time. But Austin, I'm sorry you joined at the wrong time because we're heading out of here. We'll see you guys on what I said Tuesday for our pregame show, and then come join us for our postgame live as always. And as always, Thunder up, baby! Let's go!
Let's go.